Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michaela if you're new here. So today I'm going to talk about what everyone's talking about right now is justice for George Floyd.
Prosecutors say Officer Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Overnight, Minneapolis on fire. Protesters leaving an auto parts store in flames.
So I live in Minnesota, I live in Rochester, Minnesota, and I have family in Minneapolis. My oldest sister and her husband and my nephew live actually downtown, and they only live about 4 minutes away from all of the rioting and people destroying buildings. And so this weekend they actually decided to come down to Rochester and spend time with me and my parents. And they were worried. They were scared about what could happen if people went to their apartment and decided to just destroy something or burn the building. And I'm so happy they did. I had a great time with my nephew and my sister and my brother-in-law. It's always a great time being with family. Of course, we had to try and social distance and be as safe as possible, which is hard to do. That's something that people don't realize. Being a colored person, people don't realize that we not only have to worry about COVID-19 taking a life, we also have to worry about racism taking a life. Right now in Rochester and Minneapolis, we have curfews right now. We can't be downtown after 9 p.m. And I've never had a curfew in my life in my hometown. It's always been very safe. But people are upset. People are just at the end of their wits. They're angry. They're mourning all their brothers and sisters. They are at the end. And I understand that. I totally understand that. I don't condone violence. I don't think we should ever be violent. But I understand why. You can't be just murdering people in cold blood, and you can't just, you can't be unjust to a group of people and think it's okay and not think people are going to be angry. And so I get why people are destroying things. People that live in a privileged world don't realize what it's like to be in my world as a colored person. I've got a black father, and he worries about his life, and I worry about his life, and it's so scary to know that I could lose a father, lose a loved one. My cousins, who knows, one of my cousins could be a next victim. During this pandemic, my mother has been making masks for my family and me, and my father told her, make sure to make my mask in a very fun, cheery, bright color. And she asked him why, why do you want a bright color? And he said, because I want people to think I'm approachable. I want people to think I'm not scary. People have actually told him to his face, had told me to my face, your father is scary looking. And I asked them why. He's actually a really friendly, sweet guy. He's not a scary dude. He's not mean. And people would tell me, I don't know, something about him just scares me. I just don't want to approach him. And I would be so frustrated because to me, he's my dad. And that's the reality he lives in. He chose this bright green mask color because he wanted to be approachable and he didn't want to look scary, because in his world, that's his reality. He could be the next target just because he's wearing a mask, and he knows that. And it just pains me that that is what he has to feel. People don't realize that something as little as a mask color is actually a big deal for so many people, because people see my father as this big black man. They don't see him as a father, a husband, a son, a friend, a brother, a pharmacist. They don't see those things that I see. All they see is a big black man that looks scary and that could hurt me, when in reality, he's harmless. In reality, he's just a really nice guy that has hopes and dreams just like everyone else. My nephew, he's only 9 months old, but I already know that one day I'm going to have to protect him. He's going to get discriminated against, and I'm going to have to protect him, and I'm going to have to be his advocate. And that is awful, that at 9 months old, when he can barely talk and he's just innocent little child, that someone is going to be cruel to him, and that really hurts. And it's scary. I have to worry about COVID, but I also have to worry about racism and if one of my family members could be the next target. So again, I understand why people are rioting. I understand why people are destroying things. They are angry. All their brothers and sisters are being brutally murdered. Like George Floyd was brutally murdered for just being him, for just being a black man. And that is so painful, and it angers me. And I'm not a violent person. I'm not a very angry person, but I'm angry too. And this video is not to say that violence is okay. It's not to say that we should hate other people. I actually want to spread awareness. I want to spread love. That's what this video is all about. I want to educate and inform those that are in the power of privilege. I want to educate specifically white people who are in the privileged state. They don't understand what it's like to be me. They don't understand what it's like to be a black or Hispanic woman or man that faces these prejudices every single day. My father walks out the door every single day and he faces prejudice the minute he walks in the room. And that's scary, that's upsetting, and I want to inform others to be open-minded. I want to inform others to open their hearts and minds to understand that being different isn't bad. Being different doesn't make you evil. It's what makes the world unique. It was what makes the world better, is being different. So for those that are in the place of privilege and wondering, what should I do? Like, how can I help? Well, here's how you can help. You can educate and inform your fellow family and friends. I have a friend that is a white male, and he felt like, well, what can I do? Like, what can I say? And I said, you can say a lot, actually. There's a lot that you can do. You can talk to your family and friends that are in the dark and that don't understand that it's okay to be different, and that we need to unite, that we need to come together and be as one. Being silent is not the answer. We need to stand up and we need to talk about it, and we need to educate others that don't understand, that are ignorant, and that have been taught from a very young age that being black or Hispanic or Asian is a bad thing, that there's a hierarchy, that we still are living this time of slavery, which we don't. We live in a time of equality. We live in a time of justice. But the government and the political system, all this, the police system, everything's screwed up. We aren't born racist. We aren't born prejudiced. It's taught as a young age. And so we need to teach the young generation, we need to teach the old generation to make change, that we need to make a change, that the world is always going to be divided if we don't unite and we don't try and talk about this issue and try to move forward and get justice. And it starts with George Floyd. It starts with getting justice for him, and it starts with all the other people before him that have been wrongly accused and have been brutally murdered or sentenced to a long jail sentence just because they're black or Hispanic or Asian. We need to stand up for what's right, and that's us coming together, and that's us not being afraid to talk about it and be open, and to stop talking about and to stop listening to this fake news, and to look at the facts in front of us. People want to try and be like, oh, well, George Floyd was fighting, the cops, and try to not look at the facts. No, look at the facts, and that's what's true. That's what we need to talk about, and stop, listening to false, political people and false just statements in the news. We are all made in God's likeness. If we take off the skin, if we take off the outer, we're all the same. We all have blood. We all have the same hopes and dreams, aspirations, just like everyone else. No one is no different than the other. We all may look different. We may talk different. We may eat differently. But we are all the same. We are all one in Christ. And we need to educate people that we need to come together and we need to spread awareness. And that starts with getting justice for what is wrong. All of this is just the beginning. Who knows when this will ever end? But we need to try, and we need to try. And every little victory we get is important. Every little victory is going to take us to the next step of justice and equality. And so that's what I'm speaking out to you today. and I'm trying to pour my heart out and tell you how I'm feeling and what it is to be me and what it is to be my father and what kind of world that I have to live in. And it's unfair and it's scary, but one step at a time we can make a change. So I pray for you all. I pray for all your safety, and I'll see you guys next time.